Hey guys, it's been a while since I posted. So this is the G. Today we're going to do knock sensor, which is down in here. I'll actually show you. This is the other engine I have for my G. Don't want any of that shit going in this freaking engine. Okay, so here you guys see where the knock sensor is located. Here is your Plenum and your manifold. Okay, your fuel rail will be above this along the sides here. Your injectors will be in these holes. Obviously, you take the bolt here, and the so forth bolts along the side. I believe there's 3 on one side, 2 on the other. 2 on this side, 3 on this side. Or sorry, 2 on 2. And then a total of 2 here and 2 there. And then the Plenum here. So I'll give you first hand of everything what you all have to do and take off. But this gives you an idea of where the knock sensor is located. It is located under here. So intake's got to come off. Battery before anything must be disconnected. Intake has to come off. Plenum has to come off. Bottom of the Plenum's got to come off. The injectors and the rails got to come off. And then your manifold's got to come off. And then you can get to your knock sensor. So here's your knock sensor. That's what it looks like. And this is what I'm going to be putting it on this engine. That engine there only has about 50 kilometers on it. So I bought it for spare parts. I'm also going to build it. But for right now, it's just some extra parts that I need for this one that has about 120,000 K on it. So first, before you do anything, you're going to want to disconnect your negative terminal in your battery. And then after you're done that, then you're going to want to take off the four 10mm bolts for your plastic cover. Then you're going to want to take out your 2 plastic clips if you're stock and don't have an intake. And just pull that up and out. Then you're going to want to take off another 10mm here and a 10mm here. And loosen your fucking clamp. Hose clamp there. Jeez. It's early. Then you're also going to want to disconnect your airline there, or your vent tube there, and also your vent tube there. So just pull this guy off. Once that intake off, I will repeat. Okay, now your intake's out. Now that is done, let's move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we have removed the intake, we will loosen that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. The 6 bolts on the top of the Plenum. We will loosen every bolt that is around the Plenum. These 2 are nuts. Those are its lining areas. You will also want to remove this bolt here. Oops, focus. Stupid camera. You'll also want to remove that bolt there to remove your vacuum system for your fuel line. You don't have to disconnect any fuel line, just disconnect this vacuum line there that is attached to your throttle body. You will also want to unplug your throttle body. Now remember, do not move the fucking throttle body flap. Do not move throttle body plate. If you do that, I've already done that and dealt with it, you are screwed. I have one sitting in my shop right now that is messed that you can't fix because I moved it to try to clean it. Don't move it. You can unplug it, you can clean around it, no problem. don't move the flap. As long as you don't move that, you're totally okay with unplugging it or anything. But you must do an ECU reset or a throttle body reset after you have done this procedure. Now that we are all done with that, you can tell now the Plenum is loose. I will pull the Plenum off and start recording again. Okay, here's the Plenum off. Just so you know, there is, I'll show you this one. This hose that is attached to under the throttle body, and also this one that attached under the throttle body as well. I have a plug on that one because there will be radiator fluid coming out of it. I'll show you here on the throttle body where it's located. That one's the back one on that plug there, and this is the one that leaks the antifreeze. So make sure you plug it either off on the main line, which is easier to get at, or go on off that one there, but that one's harder to get to. Okay, and then after that, you have to pull off the 6 bolts there, and then you can get at the main bolts for the manifold. You also want to take off the 1 bolt here for the harness being held on there, and you want to take off the 2 bolts here holding on your fuel regulator as well, and you also want to take off any other existing stuff that is holding on to that manifold there. This is also the first time that I'm taking this off on this car. I haven't taken one off before on one of these cars. Big VQ fan, but just doing some maintenance here. I'll videotape the next one. Okay, now we have the Plenum off. Alright, so I have disconnected the injectors. I have also used some duct tape and covered the rest of the manifold there. You do not want anything getting in there. So I will show you the bottom of the Plenum. Here's the bottom of the Plenum. Pull the 1 bolt on this, I'd say bracket here. It's connected to your harness. Also, you know, for your engine vent. I disconnect always the one at the engine vent just because when you're pushing this hose this way, it puts pressure on the plastic air engine vent, PCV, whatever you guys want to call it. And then I find that, you know, sometimes it can snap them if they're old or brittle or anything like that, so I usually only take it off at this side so then it's not going to push back onto it. I put my bolts back on here just for the safety part of, you know, making sure it all goes in the same place. Also mark all your other ones to make sure, because some are different length, and check it all. There's the bottom of the Plenum, and yeah, that's it. You pretty much just pull her off, and then you're left with this. And now once I'm done this, then I will pull off the my fuel rail and move my fuel rail out of the way, and then I can pull off the main part of the manifold. And then, ladies and gents, we are at the NOx sensor. Stay tuned and I will show you the rest. Okay guys, so here is now there's the injectors pulled out there. I found the best way to pull them out was pull from this front upwards, not all at the same time. Also, don't do what I did, as I put a little bit of pressure on it. And, you know, engines get older, they start getting brittle, right? So I cracked this little guy here. Luckily, it's just a vent tube. If that happens to you, you know, don't break it completely off, but grab some silicone, some high-temp silicone, and cover it, let it sit for 24 hours, and you should be fine if you run into that issue. Otherwise, I would just pull my valve cover and replace it with my other one. But the thing is since there's nothing there bypassing besides air, there's not really a total reason for you to replace it unless you want to, of course. I would for sure, but to get into all the work for a valve cover for just an air vent is not that big of a deal. I'm sure there's even people that delete them on their engines for the reason that they just don't need them. But yeah, pull that off, and then after that's done, you take your 2 bolts like I showed before, and the 2 bolts, and then it's 2 nuts and 2 bolts. Pull those off, they're all 12 mil, then you are at your NOx sensor. Alright guys, well, here you go. there is the knock sensor. As you can see right there, is attached to the line just behind there. Unplug it, unbolt it, replace it, repeat the video backwards. There you go, guys, for a full in-depth of where it is located and what you do to get at it. A lot of people think it's a big job. It's actually not that big of a job. It's not near as much as doing all of your valve covers. That takes quite a bit longer than doing what I'm here doing today. If you want to do the valve covers while you're doing this, then you're probably looking at about 2 days to finish it all, unless you're rushing, or you want those valve covers to sit with their silicone for about 24 hours if you're doing that before you start it or anything like that. I hope you guys liked the video. Comment, whatever I missed, comment it below, and certain things I obviously said wrong, but gives you the idea of how to do it and get it done. Alright, guys. Well, I'm gonna replace it and start putting it back together. Thanks, guys.